Alrighty, party peoples of the interwebs, we now have a clear understanding of Elon Musk's intervention into the Alex Jones bankruptcy. Viva Fry, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida rumbler, in my home office with the setting sun to my west on a beautiful Florida evening, and now we totally understand Elon Musk and X, I have to start calling it X, their intervention into the Alex Jones bankruptcy in the context of that $1.5 billion judgment against the Sandy Hook families and an FBI agent in Connecticut and Texas.
Friends, there are nearly $1 billion to be distributed among the 15 plaintiffs in that case, and after that verdict was read here at Waterbury Superior Court, we first heard from Norm Pattis, who has been representing Jones in this trial. He says he has never seen a trial like this before of the more than 200 he's been a part of. He says they did not expect this verdict, nor the monetary value in it. He says that they are looking forward to appealing this decision. He's ended by offering his condolences to the family. And we also heard from the attorneys of the Sandy Hook families, as you just heard there, who say that this is a historic verdict that holds Jones accountable. They say if this shuts down Alex Jones, that's a good thing. They will now go through the proceedings for the punitive damages, which would be on top of the ones announced today. Overall, they say that this is a restorative moment for these families.
Without going into the weeds of the details, Alex Jones was defaulted into a finding of liability against both the Connecticut plaintiffs and the Texas plaintiffs, and then there was a hearing on the quantum to be ordered to be paid by Alex Jones, which was in the order of $1.5 billion to be paid to the plaintiffs in that case, which included the FBI agent who was awarded, I think, something like $100 million for the words that Alex Jones allegedly said about that guy. We're not going to go over all of that. Suffice to say that Alex Jones was defaulted into a finding of liability. They had a bogus kangaroo court show trial on the quantum. He was ordered to pay $1.5 billion to these plaintiffs. He obviously could not do that because very few people have $1.5 billion. And Alex Jones and Infowars filed for bankruptcy protection or restructuring at first in order to potentially negotiate a settlement with the families. That didn't go anywhere, despite the fact that, from what I understand, tens of millions of dollars was offered over the course of several years. The family said, no, we don't want that. We just want to shut Alex Jones and Infowars down. And so the bankruptcy protection or attempt to negotiate a settlement was transformed into a liquidation of assets in bankruptcy, and there was a public bid, or what was supposed to be a public bid, for the assets of Infowars, which was unknown to everybody, transformed into a secret bid by envelope by the trustee. I think his name is Murray. And the alleged winning offer of that bid, which was not even the highest offer, was from the Onion, backed by the Connecticut plaintiffs, who, in order to make that offer a little more robust than the $1.75 million cash for the assets, agreed to forego what the Onion would have to pay them from future earnings from the assets of Infowars so they could turn that $1.7 million offer into an alleged offer valued at $7 million if you trust the mental gymnastics creative math. That's where we were at as of about a week ago, and then Alex Jones filed an emergency injunction to declare the offer null and void, to disqualify the Onion and any of the backers who tried to surreptitiously circumvent the rules for the auction. And then we heard that Elon Musk had filed a notice of intent to get involved in the bankruptcy. And I was asking, in what capacity was Elon and X filing a notice to get involved? Had they made an offer that was disregarded? We didn't know until today, and now we understand what Elon Musk is doing involved in that bankruptcy, because he filed a motion today to basically say that the trustee cannot sell Alex Jones or Infowars assets, that is to say the Twitter handle and the account associated with those names, because Alex Jones and Infowars doesn't own them. Now, it's a very interesting argument, and it's one that makes a lot of sense as we get into it, but I tweeted out earlier today that it's sort of a double-edged sword from a PR perspective, because right now a lot of people with Twitter handles are going to understand that they don't own those Twitter handles. Those are associated with a service that is provided by Twitter, or X as I should call it, and that they don't in fact own it. X does. Paragraph 19 towards the end highlighted, it says, so once the social media company, here X Corp, is added to the mix, X Corp's TOS, those are terms of service, make clear that it owns the X accounts, as the TOS is explicit that X Corp merely grants its users a non-exclusive license to use their accounts. Ownership of the accounts remains with X Corp at all times. Paragraph 20 towards the end, put simply, accounts are inherently part of X Corp's services and their, quote, use, end quote. A user must use X Corp's services to create an account in the first instance and to continue using the account going forward. Paragraph 22, because the X accounts are governed by the TOS make clear that X accounts are X Corp's, quote, exclusive property, end quote. Now, although this might shock the conscience to the non-lawyers out there and the people who say, I own my X account, it's my name, it's worth money, I can transfer it, I can sell it, whatever, it makes sense that X Corp does not want to get into any proprietary fights with the X account users, because if X wants to reserve the right to shut down, suspend, terminate accounts for whatever reason, whenever they want, they don't want to have to start getting into arguments that the account user says, no, that's my property and you can't deprive me of my right to use my own property. So X says, we own it, it's associated with the service that we provide you, and basically we can terminate it whenever we want for whatever reason we want, and we don't need to get into any lengthy legal battles to establish our right to do that. But there are certain licenses that are afforded, awarded, granted to the user of the account, and to that X says the following. The licenses to use the X accounts are non-assignable. Paragraph 31, the trustee may assert in the alternative that it is not seeking to sell or assign the X accounts, but is merely attempting to assign, sell, or otherwise transfer the license granted by X Corp to utilize the services. For the reasons described below, the trustee cannot assign, sell, or otherwise transfer the non-exclusive license X Corp granted to FSS, that's Free Speech Systems, or Jones in connection with the use of the X accounts, because such license is non-assignable.
You son of a bitch.
Paragraph 38 at the end, as noted above, X Corp retains ownership of the services and merely grants account holders, quote, a personal worldwide royalty-free, non-assignable and non-exclusive license to use the software provided, end quote, to use the services. And for those of you out there who might be thinking those dirty bastard lawyers really screwed all of the account users, it makes total sense. They want to make sure that accounts are not transferred to other people in the name of other people, and that X basically loses any and all ability to track the legitimacy of the accounts, the actual ownership of the accounts, and create false impressions to the other people on Twitter, advertisers, etc. It makes total sense, and if you don't like it, don't use the platform, I guess. And as X argues later on, all of these licenses are non-assignable and they cannot be transferred or assigned without the consent of the holder and X, and let's just read one of these paragraphs right now. Paragraph 34, the license granted by X Corp to use its services is personal to the applicable user, and such license cannot be assigned absent the consent of X Corp. In providing the services to account holders, and as detailed in the TOS, X Corp retains the right to dictate who has the right to use its services in accordance with its rules and policies. Furthermore, X Corp has a vested interest in ensuring that its users do not create false or misleading accounts that will confuse the public as to the identity of the user. This is one of the reasons why X Corp expressly does not allow for the transfer or sale of accounts without its consent. Otherwise, it would be impossible to ensure that users are who they say they are. Moreover, allowing users to transfer or sell X accounts without X Corp's consent would risk allowing users to circumvent account suspensions or other moderation actions, increasing spam and platform manipulation, and allowing malicious actors to gain control of accounts. To allow account holders to freely transfer accounts amongst themselves would undermine X Corp's platform and could cause confusion among or harm to the public at large. And what's going to happen now, because I can still think like these scoundrels of lawyers, is I guarantee, or at the very least, I strongly suspect the trustee via counsel is going to petition the court to order Alex Jones to consent to the transfer of his handle to the trustee, but still, even then, X Corp does not need to consent to it for the reasons detailed in the motion. And I wouldn't be surprised if the trustee petitions the court to order X to consent to the transfer. Bottom line, by the way, all of these assets are worth strictly zero after Alex Jones is no longer affiliated with them, which goes to show that the trustee never had any interest in maximizing any amounts recovered for the plaintiffs. They just wanted to shut Alex Jones down.
If this shuts down Alex Jones, that's a good thing.
They wanted to shut Alex Jones and Infowars down, desecrate the memory of that entity, and turn it into the laughingstock that the Onion has become. And I don't mean a laughingstock as in a funny publication. I mean as in a crap hole that the Onion has become. But more important than anything, have you taken 3 seconds to go down and hit subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a comment in the comment section because it feeds the algorithm? That is my prediction as to what is going to happen. It's a very interesting argument presented by Elon. I'm just wondering why Elon has not made a bid on the assets of Infowars or Alex Jones for $7 million. My goodness, he spent $44 billion on Twitter itself. He can throw away $15 million so that even the trustee can't decline that offer coming from Elon Musk or X. But we'll see what happens. For the time being, that's where things are at. To be continued, to be followed for sure. If you like what I do, you know what to do. Most importantly, exercise, eat healthy sunlight, talk to people in real life, and now you know your vlog. Peace out, peeps. Booyah!
Shut it down. 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 Turn it off, you dick.